right, welcome back to AdobeLive.com. We are live from the OFF Festival, the OFF conference here in Barcelona. And for the next hour, we're going to be together with Tina Touli. Hello, Tina,
Hello,
how are
everyone.
you?
Thanks for inviting me back here in live stream.
I mean, we've been together, what, a few months ago? Live from Paris? Yes, and you did that incredible poster, and I think we're going to be talking about that a little bit today.
Yes, we are going to talk through that.
So there's a couple of things for you guys watching live here on AdobeLive.com. And if you're watching the live stream on anything else but AdobeLive.com, please make sure to come over to AdobeLive.com because that's where all the action happens. That's where you're going to be able to interact in the chat. That's where there's a whole bunch of tabs to watch the replays. And more importantly, there's also a tab for the Take 10 contest. We launched a contest that will enable you to use images, stock images, and combine them to create an original piece of design. And also, remember to subscribe to the Creative Cloud YouTube channel. That's always very useful to get the latest news about when we are live and what's happening here in the Creative Cloud world.
Nice,
Tina, what are we going to be looking at today with you?
So I'm going to talk to you a bit what I'm doing in general, what kind of design, what the fields that I'm working at, and then we're going to go through 4 different projects, from like concept till completion of the project, and of course we're going to review some portfolios after.
All right.
And
Very good.
Great.
So, and just a little bit about you. So you work out of London.
Yes, so I'm working in London, and I'm a graphic communication designer, and I'm specializing in branding and typography and editorial design mostly. So,
All right, so let's get into it. All right, let's move over to Tina's screen. Oh, we're already there. Hola.
Oh.
Hello.
Hello, everyone.
Nice animation.
So, as I said, I'm a graphic communication designer, so I work in lots of different fields, and I like exploring also like different things every time, like paper craft or like digital design, web design. I love coding, and I really like bookbinding and craft techniques. So I'm working in all these like different fields and trying different things, and I'm trying to do every time like a project a bit more unique and give something different under that, approach in a different way. And I worked in quite a lot of studios, both in London and in Greece, where I'm actually from. And I worked in studios such as like Nalla Design or Blast Design, Pearlfisher and others. And I'm working also on my own studio, producing like a variety from branding to typography and lots of different beats. So you can see here like some of my work for like different clients, from smaller brands to like bigger brands such as like Tate Modern, UAL, Waitrose, supermarkets and others. And I always like to jump back and forth and like try things in the physical world and the digital one, and try to combine all these different elements in order to create something fresh every time and something new. And so you can see like different bits of my work. Like this is a more research project, creating balloon instruments, and helping deaf people to approach music in an easier way. So, as I already said today, we are going to talk through 4 different projects that they're actually totally different. Some of them are a bit more creative, and some of them are a bit more for corporate clients. So, the first one is called Every Sip Has a Story, and it's been designed for Waitrose Drinks Festival. And it's actually the branding and also like the leaflets and everything that they needed for the festival, as well as the graphics for the festival itself. And I've worked on this project while working at Nalla Design. So
there's just one quick question from Bang. How does coding help with graphic design?
You can use it really nicely, like in processing, for example, to create graphics and animate them and play around. Or even like sometimes it's good, like when you talk to a developer building a website, it's really important to know how
what you're talking about. Right?
So you can understand and you can communicate with each other really well. And so I think it's really important to have like at least like a basic knowledge about that.
So what code are you talking about?
So I'm working like a bit with HTML, CSS, and JavaScript. So
Okay.
like the basic languages in order to be able but once you know some of them, then it's really easy to expand and understand, like maybe not write the others,
yeah.
but you can always like understand what is written on the code kind of, and yeah.
Absolutely.
Okay, so the Waitrose project, Waitrose approached us to create their branding, and they didn't really had any branding before for the festival itself, so it was the first time taking like place in London. And it was all about the suppliers that they bring all the products, and they share them with the clients and ask them to test them, to try them, and also all the stories that come while you enjoy the drinks, all these memories as well. And so they approached us with something like this. So they had like newsprint, and we were a bit concerned, but we thought let's try to push like farther and ask them to do like something a bit more creative and like more elegant and interesting for the reader. We looked a bit at the Waitrose brand that is actually not as like, it's quite like well designed and interesting, simple and engaging. So we thought maybe that's what we should follow rather than the newsprint that they show us. And we looked at like illustrations of all the engravings of celebrating like the drinks days and like production of the drinks. So we took all these like different ideas that we had and combined them and thought, okay, let's use the letters for each of the drinks, like W for wine, B for beer, and the rest. So, and show all the stories onto them, so illustrate all these different stories that they come with the drink. So I started sketching around and play to see like what I wanted to actually reflect on that. And then trace it in Illustrator with the brush tool and create the illustrations that we could actually use in any kind of scale and in the event, in the leaflet.
And if you want to see how fast Tina Touli is in Illustrator, you need to watch the replays from the Paris live stream that we did a few weeks ago. Like many people said, whoa, Tina's so fast with Illustrator. Yes,
it's just a matter of exercise, I would say.
Yeah.
So we created the W for wine, B for beer, and since we were still in the stage of proposing, we worked a bit on how this handout would look like, and we used like really simple like typography and lots of white space to make it elegant and interesting. And we also looked at how a spread with like lots of content would look like. And we then done like a quick proposal to show also how the graphics would work in the space, so how we could use this letter to actually name the different rooms and help the viewer also navigate himself around. And we made also the proposal for the cover as well, which was one of them, as you can see, it was combining all the different stories into one image, one illustration. Or then another approach would be like using the W letter standing for Waitrose this time, and more craft papers, like to show more the traditional side. And we created another approach with more modern colors and make it a bit more contemporary look and feel. So the client was really, really happy. He really loved the approach and everything, even if it was far away from what they had. But the only comments were like, they weren't really sure about what the illustration was actually depicting. They felt it's a bit too old-fashioned. And also about the photography, they felt it's quite dark and not that inspiring and bright and engaging. So we came back and looked at the illustrations, and we started incorporating like a bit more like modern techniques of the drinks production and like of the like cocktails, like the everyday life, like in the contemporary life onto that. And we created the collection W for wine, B for beer, C for cider, dark spirits and light spirits, and F for food. So we had this like collection of illustrations that we were planning to use through a handout, as well as like the graphics for the space. And we looked again in the imagery, this time going for bright images, like really engaging, really like bringing you to actually take things and start creating your drinks, really crafty. And we looked at the cover, creating this time a W letter combining all the different stories, since they found it really interesting that the W stands for Waitrose, and on the Waitrose logo it stands also a lot out, so it's really like you get immediately what is it about. So the show guide was a bit more technical document, having like lists of the suppliers and floor plans. So not that interesting like design piece, but the handout was quite engaging. So we start like on the contents page, not homepage. We had the little illustrations showing like the contents of the handout. And then in each of the spreads where a new chapter started, we had the letter for the drink for the chapter and color it using the colors related to the drinks themselves. So help the reader even more like to find quickly what he was actually interested about. And we used like the font of the Waitrose, so we stay on brand and really simple, like emphasizing a lot in the hierarchy of the information. And also we started like having this infographic style, like importing like some little illustrations to emphasize on some points. And yeah, that's how we created the handout. And then we moved forward and we thought maybe we should actually animate a bit this letter, the W for waitress, because we have all the screens in the event and it will be like engaging and nice to have it like in an animated version. So we gave life to that, like with little details moving, and we moved forward to actually design the space itself, using again the letters and having like the little labels on the different rooms, as well as like printed on the walls, like W for the wine room, S for the shop this time. And yeah, so that was a really interesting project where the brand like we really pushed it forward, and we really like gave life to that, and it was a really successful event.
I really liked how you like also explored like these old drawings, like from medieval kind of times, right?
Yeah,
and,
it started from
because it also gives this sense that this company has been around for a very long time. Like it gives this.
Exactly that. We want to show also a bit like the tradition and like also the traditional techniques and the nice products, the high quality products of the suppliers, and combine all this. That's why we started like referencing onto that. So the second project that I picked today is the 30 years of Adobe Illustrator.
Ah, the one we did together in Paris.
Yes, that we were celebrating last month. Yeah. With lots of exciting also like tutorials and bit I saw on the Adobe Illustrator channel.
Yes.
So we created a poster for the 30 years of Adobe Illustrator, and the idea was that how you have a notebook, so you are the page that you're drawing is your present, the next pages are the future, and the previous are the past. So this idea was like, okay, that shows like the history of Illustrator, the 30 years of that. And working on another project that included stencil, I thought, okay, the number 30 is like symmetrical number horizontally, so it's quite interesting if you cut from half of it a piece, then if you fold it, you have the other half. And we start like thinking a bit how it's gonna look like, and created like a quick sketch in Illustrator. So the top part would be the cutted part, and the other bit would be the reflection part, the folded part. And we started like looking at fonts, so we decided to go for a really simple, so it's easy actually to recognize it and understand it. When you have a paper sculpture that's going to be so complicated with all these layers, then you probably need like simple fonts, straightforward. And we done the sketch for what we actually needed to print, and later on cut to create all the sculpture. And we start cutting.
Yes, cutting and cutting and cutting.
Yeah, the whole night. But yeah, I quite enjoy it. Yeah. So, and we created all this paper sculpture with all these layers. And then started looking what is the angle that we are gonna take the picture from in order to trace it in Illustrator, because of course we are designing for Illustrator, so the final outcome should be a vector object. And we looked at different angles, different bits. So the front one was quite interesting, but quite flat maybe. We lost all the 3D effect. So we were quite happy with this angle on the side, and so I moved forward, started tracing it, and taking the number 3, bringing in the number 0, and then fixing all like the shadows and all the details, especially like if you notice on the number 0 on the center of it, it changes quite a lot while moving forward. And then it was quite interesting, nice, but we needed also to communicate what this 30 stands for. So it's about the 30 years of Illustrator. So we started like bringing the font and showing like how, like making it read like this year is a special one, so it's the 30 years of Adobe Illustrator, and the rest of the text hidden behind, talking more about the celebration. And it was quite interesting, but it was not really helping the 30 to stand out. It was making it a bit flat. And so we thought, like, let's give a bit more space onto that, and actually make it like looking 3D and give like some space on that.
Shadow,
yeah, some shadows, and bringing to life.
Yeah, and this was great to see how you very quickly traced it in Illustrator, like click, 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 click. That's awesome work.
Yeah, it took some time, like, to fix all the lines like perfectly nice. But I think it was quite nice.
Yep.
Another project is the Digital Maker Collective. So it's been designed for Tate Modern in London, and it's actually a program called Tate Exchange, where it invites different like organizations and universities to take part and start exchanging like thoughts, ideas, information, skills with like the audience and also between them. So they approached me to design the branding for the Digital Maker Collective, which is actually a group of people specializing in interactive design. And I was really keen because I'm really interested in the field of installation and 2D and 3D, like moving objects, and it's like really engaging and nice. And I thought, like, I started thinking, like, what should I communicate? So it's about like digital, it's about exchanging, and also like interaction. And I was quite keen on these like digital boards that they are using in all of kind of projects, like the Arduino one, for example. So I thought
again, coding.
Yeah, coding back again. So different ways to use it. And so I was thinking, like, these cables, how they connect. It shows like how they exchange between the different digital boards, like the information. So it reflects this idea of like exchanging. And also, like, all these bits were also quite interesting, like all the tools that they're using. So I started like illustrating like this image of the poster, and thinking of how we could expand it in the brand and create all the different elements that we need. So it was quite interesting. The first one was looking a bit flat, so I decided like to bring maybe this kind of windows that you have in your computer, all the different folders and all while you're working. And bringing more to life, like give it a bit more like 3D effect and make it stand out. And I continued designing the banners and everything. And then was the moment that I actually stand back and so like I was like, not really sure about that. It looks interesting, but it's not like, it's showing more like digital stuff and not really creativity onto that, and not emphasizing on the idea of exchanging. So actually it wasn't really communicated what I wanted. So, but I was quite keen in this kind of windows, and I thought there is something onto them, and it shows a bit like the idea of exchanging. So I started playing around and tried different compositions with like these windows going through and like exchanging, merging with each other.
Look like wild pop-up windows.
Yeah, like pop-up windows, and it shows like also like the different directions that they take and the way that they merge. It shows like this kind of like information from here merging with there and like exchanging things. So I was quite keen on that, and so I decided to go for this kind of composition. And I started also bringing in the typography to communicate, of course, the information that had to be communicated on the poster. And I used like this really techy font that it has like this like round details that makes it a bit more friendly and elegant. And and then I created like all the bits that we needed, like the logotype and different leaflets, maps, and everything that they needed for the event. And it came also to the point I thought like, it's quite interesting, but the idea actually came from something that it had like movement in my mind. It was actually moving, like the idea of exchanging, not a static thing. So I thought maybe I should bring that in and actually make it move. So and the client was really happy with that. So he decided to use online all like the moving image, of course, and the prints, of course, like static images. And so that's how we brought.
How do you do your animations?
And bits. Oh, it's different. Like the waitress one that we saw, it was made in After Effects, with using Illustrator and After Effects and jumping back and forth. And like this one was in Photoshop, so I was just like having the windows, so it was really easy, like frame by frame, like
layer on, layer off.
Yeah, like and I didn't really know exactly what I wanted to do. So I was like, I'm more confident with Photoshop. So I thought, let's go there first. And yeah, I don't know. It's like sometimes also by chance what I'm gonna open, what I'm gonna pick. So yeah. So Photoshop would be like easier and simpler to especially if you're not really familiar with like animating. I think it's like the best place to start and learn some bits. And the last project that I picked for today is a kind of different one.
But maybe before we go to that project,
yeah?
because the chat has been very active talking about coding and design,
Sure.
and you know, there's some people who say yes, but people want us to do everything now, but I think it's a bit more subtle than that. It's
I don't know, I found myself like questioning what exactly am I doing. Like I love typography, I'm really into typography, but I'm doing so many other like different things. I'm doing like from bookbinding and screen printing till like coding.
Yeah.
So I'm doing a bit of everything.
Yeah.
So I think it's good to have like a bigger knowledge of everything. I cannot like specialize, like be like perfect in coding and be perfect on everything, but it's good to have like a level of knowledge so you understand, you can do some bits by yourself, and then of course like you have so many creatives around you, either from the uni, from like friends, from work, so you can always like collaborate with them, and that also pushes the project even farther. So I think like it's nice to know a bit of everything, but try like, I think it's going to come by itself what you're going to be specialized at. It's like you're going to be more keen on something and like push yourself.
But because I think as a creative professional, you really need to know what's happening around you, and you know, not necessarily need to learn how to code now. I mean, if you're not keen on doing that, don't do it. But I think the important thing is to know how it works and to know the possibilities so that you can include those into your creative process and your creative ideas, and then ask other people to do it for you. Or if you're keen on learning how to code, well, you just, you know, you do it. You can do it yourself. Like for example, like in 1995, a long time ago, I, as a designer, I really had to learn what HTML was all about, you know, and because the only way for a designer to create web pages at that point was actually to write the code. And then, you know, things like Dreamweaver came out, things like Go Live, all these applications that now help you as a designer to not have to bother with the code too much. But I think it gave me a good foundation of code and good foundation of knowing what is possible. And even as the technology evolves, you continue to actually know what you're doing. And I think it's all about that. Know what you're doing.
Yeah. But yeah, I think like if you're not really like keen on that, you don't really necessarily need to push yourself to do that, you know. So, but I think basic knowledge, a bit of everything, it's good to have. So yeah, and actually this project is all about kind of that, I would say, because so we had this idea. I worked with these two other great creatives, Marta Yarza, she's a graphic designer based in London, and Simona Bornazieva, an illustrator from London. And we decided to do like a self-initiated project, a group project, and try like to push our limits and try things out that we never done before. So things that we didn't really know. So it was like a great time to experiment and start like approaching something new that you don't have like a deadline or something, a client. So then we could implement it into our clients' work. So that's also a nice way like to learn, like take your friends and try things that you never tried before. And so we decided to do a collection of 3 images about merging yourself with your work. So we thought of like, what we actually wanted to communicate to people. Like, we are all like really passionate about our work and like working and creating stuff. So, and we thought it's really important to put yourself onto that while doing that. If you don't love it and you don't like really put yourself onto that, it's not gonna reflect the result nicely. So. We decided to create a collection of 3 images, and one of them was merge yourself with your ideas, with your tools, and with your work. So it was a really quick project. We just spent 2 evenings experimenting and 1 day in the photo shoot, and then just 1 or 2 days editing. So really quick one. And so we started sketching a bit, like trying to exchange ideas and think like what we are gonna do. So we were quite keen on the hand because it's like a symbol of creativity. It's like what connects like your brain, your thinking with like the object with what you actually do, what you create. And we thought it's a great medium to show like how you merge yourself with your ideas, the work, and your tools. And so we started thinking for the first one with your tools. We didn't really look that far. It was in front of us. So our tool is our computer. So we thought of merging the hand, like yourself, with the computer. So we painted white, so we have a blank canvas to work with. And we looked at this really interesting technique called marbling.
Yes.
That allows you, like you have the surface of the water and you can draw with inks on top of it. And then whatever you immerse onto that, it actually gets printed. And we were really keen into that.
Oh, there's a lot of YouTube videos on that.
Yeah.
Like even like for, to print on 3D objects.
Yes.
Like they use that technique.
Yeah. So it's really interesting. So we started experimenting. As you see, probably the first results weren't like the best ones. But we continued till we got to a point that we were quite happy. And we thought, okay, that's enough for now. Let's figure it out in the photo shoot. We do have something to play around. We have the hand, the laptop, we have this technique. We'll see what we will do. And the second one, as you see here, Marta was quite happy with the bubbles. We thought ideas. They're always like this little like thoughts, like this little bubbles next to in cartoons and everything. So we thought maybe that's what we want. Bubbles are also really nice, like interesting because they reflect the colors and everything. So they're really engaging, like to take a picture of. So we started with these huge ones, experimenting, having no plan what we will do. And then we thought maybe they're too big and not really what we needed. So we tried a bit with smaller scale. And it was quite interesting. There were like some nice bits, like on the top left, like the reflection was nice. But it was looking like having a shower rather than ideas. And that was an issue. So we thought maybe let's bring some color into that. And we started playing with implementing ink onto that. And it was quite interesting. Like we're quite happy with the right one. We still didn't know how the picture is going to look like, but we thought, okay, let's move forward. We don't have time. We want to do the photo shoot. So, and then we had this pack of receipt paper. And for the last one, it was merging yourself with your work. So we thought, we could maybe create an installation or something, maybe project on that, so merge like the physical with the digital wall. So showing like it doesn't really matter what your work is about. It can be anything. So we didn't have any plan for that. We just were interested on the subject and we thought maybe we'll figure it out. We had some images that we thought and patterns to project, and So, and then it was the day of the shoot. And we had a great whole day in the photo studio just by ourselves, using all the equipment, all like the materials around, really fun one. And you can see here a bit of what we've done with the receipt papers and how we worked with that, with the bubbles, experimenting in like an inflatable pool, like so we can have the scale and everything that we needed. And once we got the picture, we start like editing them and creating something out of them. So we merged the laptop in the swimming pool with the hand and marble it. So we're quite happy with the result, but of course, like editing makes everything so much better. So we start like cleaning all the details around, as you see, and continue in the same way, recoloring bits that they were not feeling right yet, and fixing the whole color correction for the whole image. More details, as you see, like and colors, and even more details, and especially in the hand, you can see quite a big difference on the color. And even more details, cleaning all like the noise of the picture, so it's like more clear.
I noticed you removed the little holes here from the...
Yes, so all like the unnecessary noise we thought it should leave, so like it can stand out like a bit more simple and straightforward. And even like the angle correction of the object can make like a difference, like a really like small one. And then we decided like to give it a bit more like a twist to make it a bit more interesting. So that was the first image. Merge yourself with your tools. And the second one was the ideas. So that was the bubble that never made it to the final shoot. It was my favorite one. The biggest is almost an A4. So we're really proud of it. And but we had other options. So we thought ideas, we should use a sketchbook and these bubbles. So we started playing like how we had in the experiments, like with the inks and the bubbles, and we had like a collection of different pictures from different experiments. But we weren't really sure which one to go for. We were somewhere in between. So like in the first one, we liked like how the bubbles are connected and how the ink goes between them, while on the second one, the positioning of the hand. So we decided to combine all of them and keep like the nice parts from each of them. So different bubbles belong to different pictures. And yeah, we created the merge yourself with your ideas. And the last one, merge yourself with your work. So we projected, and you can see like the pixel representing like the digital bits, and you can also see like the paper, so like the more craft and the more like print work. And we tried like different patterns and things, but it was getting a bit like too complicated, the whole image. So we decided like to keep it simple with one color, and then we started editing, removing details, and recoloring it, and continuing
nice.
like with more editing and showing like the idea of merging the pixels on the hand. And yeah, that's the collection. And I skipped quite a big part, which was the day of the photo shoot. And it was like the best part of the project, the part that we enjoyed the most. Yeah, and we didn't really have any expectation. We didn't really care about the outcome. So we have a really short video to show the process.
Oh, okay.
So, yeah.
And then we'll move to our portfolio reviews.
Yes. Yeah, so you can see like a bit of how we created the
Cindy
bubbles.
says, you're so creative, this, Tina, seems fun. That's right?
Yeah.
If there's no fun.
Yeah, so I think like self-initiated projects are perfect because they give you like the space to try like new things out, and then like you can implement it to clients' work, and yeah. So we started like, it shows all the process, like how we've done the marbling on the padding tool, and yeah, you can see even like merging the laptop. So yeah, we thought it would be nice to keep everything documented so we can share it. Yeah, we were also quite happy. And yeah, to share it like with other people, so invite other people to also be creative and do things. And yeah, the paper sculpture beds, and yeah.
Very nice. And what's so cool about Tina's work is that all of the projects are so entirely different, and I think that's one of your qualities, right? You're like always experimenting, always looking further, always trying new things.
Yeah, always try like in each of the projects I want to do something different, something that I never done before. So yeah, I'm trying to do as much as possible, like something different approach every time, different
Great
like
stuff. Impressive work, like Van Digital says.
Thank you.
Thank you, guys. So we're going to move now to our portfolio reviews, and our first guest, Kike Verges. Hey, Kike, welcome. How are you? Welcome.
Hello.
Tina.
Nice to
Kike, Tina. Introduction done. Come here in the middle. And we're gonna go to my computer here, and if you wanna like introduce yourself very quickly, and you know, who are you, Kike?
I am Kike. I am a graphic designer. It's about 10 years ago I started working. I studied in Elisava, a school here in Barcelona, and then I worked in several studios in Barcelona. And 5 years ago I started to work by my own. And well, more or less, this is what I do. I do many other stuff, but it's stuff that I don't like very much. So it's not here.
Everybody, I think, does like more creative things and like also more commercial. It's always like how it is.
Yes, I imagine it's normal, but
yeah.
I try to put the projects that I like most and what I have more fun.
And that represent you.
Yeah, I think that's great. That's the best.
Yes, nowadays it's not working very much because I still have a lot and a great amount of work that it's not very creative, but well.
But you can always find like some free time and do creative work like for yourself, I guess.
So that's it.
So please, let's go.
You want to pick a project?
Some projects.
Okay. Well, did you took a look before to the website or?
Actually, you know what I'm going to do very quickly? I'm gonna take your link here. I'm gonna put it into the chat very quickly, so that people can actually go.
Yeah.
This is gonna look horrible for just a second, and paste. Okay, and go back to Kike. Here we
Okay.
go. Oh.
Great.
So you guys can actually go on Kike's website, on his portfolio, and give your appreciation. Like,
Of course.
click appreciate and follow Kike.
Or not.
Or not.
Everything is.
Go ahead.
So, well, this one I like. This one.
Okay.
But just in this case, I would like to know your opinion because
Great.
this was a project for journeys that they make for the like this, for the scholarship, the boys who go to the school. Sorry, to make a day of games and interaction between the children
Nice.
and just to, I don't know how to explain it. For them to learn how to accept the other ones, diversity and all these things. So I started with some basic forms and all the colors, because as we are talking about diversity,
Kids and
yes,
also like
I wanted to make something very just like a game and with all the colors, just to include everyone. So I had those pieces, and with this I started to play. This was like a logo. Well, this was the typography, this was the logo. But the thing I like more is the communications, because as you have all these forms, you can play and do whatever you want, like any drawings or numbers.
yeah, they're quite flexible. The system as well, like working as in a grid and
Yes. And well, these are several examples.
it's great.
And this was the image just for the journeys that we continue playing, and we made some t-shirts. There were many teams, so there were many colors, the accreditations. And the black color was for the staff,
Okay.
because it
Standing
was
out.
the way to identify them. This one I like quite a lot, but what I don't like is the logo, this logo. For me, it's just a little, it's not well developed.
I think it's quite interesting, like the way that you approach it, and you try to having like these shapes following and coming at the logo. But I don't feel like it's not necessarily that you have to have all of these shapes and form like the X or something. It could be even like a circle, that's like a shape that gives and turns, and so it could be maybe more simplified in that case, the logo, and you don't really need to create the X letter, because X is also not really accepted, maybe on another point of view. But I know that stands for the
from this word, I
Yes,
guess.
Sharsha is the net or nest.
Oh, okay.
So it's the X. But
I quite like the way that it gives this kind of movement. But yeah, I think it could be a bit more simplified, maybe.
Yes.
Like a bit, maybe looking at different fonts embeds. It could help define how the shape of the X letter could be, so it would be recognized as an X letter. I think it's really nice, the way that he kept here in all the crafts, the bits of the shadows as well while photographing the beds. I think it makes it really crafty and engaging, especially for kids. I would say. I think it brings them, it comes closer to them. I think
that was the reason to use those papers and to cut them not perfectly, not
I think that's great. It really goes with the project really well. It really reflects what you wanted to show.
And it's a project that scales so well, because you use it on a gazillion different supports, and I can also imagine it animated at this point.
Yeah, that would be nice. Maybe stop motion as well, removing and taking part, to expand the project even more. Even if it's probably finished project, I think it's worth going back and see explore more bits and push yourself as well to do more things.
Yes.
But one thing that you did very well, Kike, is on creating your portfolio here. is you
Yeah.
added all the explanations, and this is
Well, not
so
in all, not in
important.
all the cases, but
Yes,
but
but
yes.
I tell you, one of the key things with these Behance portfolios is that it's your opportunity to show how you think. Okay, it's not only about showing your work, showing what you did. I think creative professionals who are looking to hire or looking for designers to work on specific projects, they're also looking for how you think, not only how you,
Yeah.
what you know, if you just show an image, it's really hard for anyone to actually understand your thought process. And it's so important to have this textual information as well and to show the process, because this is what makes me comfortable with you. Because
Yeah.
I get a sense of how you approach the project, of how you put all these elements together and how your story developed. So very, very important. Another project you want us to look at very quickly?
Let's see.
Yeah, it's a really interesting one.
I also like very much this one. This is for, well,
Now you're choosing only those with text, right?
yes.
Now he's scared.
No, no.
No, just
This one is from for the in the libraries in Barcelona. There are 2 periods in the year that the students can go till 1 a.m. to
just
study.
Oh, okay.
for night study.
Yes. So
Estudi nocturnes.
study nocturnas, so they can study at the night, and they just wanted to make a postcard and a poster, and this was 4 years ago. So the basic idea was this one, to join the books to study with the night, and we've got that symbol. So everything comes from here.
Ah.
The leaflet, every study room had their indicates how to go there, till when it's opened or when it's closed. There was a poster also. They also create groups for interchanging languages. So someone speaks in French, the other in German, I don't know. And I developed the symbol to the flags. I proposed them to make a, I don't know how it's called in English.
Oh, the
Bookmark.
the
Bookmark,
the
that,
bookmark,
that's it,
yes.
bookmark.
That's great. Stack them it.
Bookmark.
Yeah, it's nice
Thank
also
you.
how it stands out like in the corner and
Yes.
like in the book how it's like one of the icons.
But this, I proposed them, but they didn't want to do it 4 years ago. But this year, I've been doing this over the years, and this year I
You finally could make
Yes.
the bookmark.
Oh,
Yes.
that's
Yes.
great.
and we have this in many colors, and I like it very
Oh,
much.
that's awesome.
But I still do not have updated the web. So these are some applications. This was put in the entrance of the, and that's it.
Nice. I really
I like this one because I have just this concept, and it lets me
Simple.
do all the communication through with the same symbol always.
I really like also your presentation that's like straightforward. I'm opening the page and I get it like 1, 2, 3. I know what you're talking about. So it's like really straightforward. And I really like also like that you created the bright colors, but you have like this kind of dark background. That's like, because the library is like till late, I guess
Yes,
it's the
that's it.
concept. I think it really like shows that it's quite engaging and nice. And yeah, I think it's quite nice like the way that you approach like to combine the old with the book and show like this night shift. And yeah, I think it works better like when I see here on the map, like when in a smaller scale you can recognize easier the O. Well, on the bigger one, and when it becomes a pattern, you see more the book. So maybe, I don't know, maybe it would like bring in like a little detail to emphasize more on the O and less on the book might help. But it's also like you use it in a decorative way maybe there, so it's not necessarily like that you need to show like the O. You can emphasize a bit more on the book and the eyes. Or maybe I see like here you have a kind of opacity on the circles, maybe merging them with the background would help, like how you have it on the little like map. Yeah, I think it's really interesting. And here adding like all the little informations. yeah, I think it's like straightforward and really clear. Like everybody can find quickly what he's looking for. So I think it's quite nice.
Well,
And the
this one,
colours.
it was 4 years ago, but now we don't have this. It's all by the internet. You can
Oh,
do it
okay.
through an app. Yes.
Yeah, maybe also on this one you could bring in some like kind of animation and make the eyes like closing and opening since it's like night and like closing, opening, like since you're continuing the branding, and yeah. I think it will be nice, interesting one, since also they moved everything online. Like maybe you should start thinking like, could I move everything somehow? Like make it a bit more engaging than like.
Yes, I think with the eyes we could play like.
Yeah, I think it will be really nice.
Great stuff, Kike.
Oh, thank you.
Let's
Well
just
done.
go back to the first page and remember kikeverges.com. That's where you can look at the portfolio. And is this you can also look at it on Behance?
It's on the top,
Yes.
right? I see there.
Oh, here. Yes, here we go. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
And
so
there, give your appreciation to Kike if you like his work. But what I also like from your homepage is a lot of diversity, a lot of different approaches to design. I mean, there are some similarities between some of the projects. Like this, for example, reminded me like of this.
Yeah.
Like,
that was a really nice one.
but I mean, you can really see the diversity, all the different styles that you're working on. So, Kike, thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, Tina, for looking at Kike's
Thank
portfolio.
you. It's been a pleasure.
And now we're going to continue
Thank
and watch an online portfolio that was submitted to us. Okay, are you ready?
Nice.
And that's the
Yeah.
portfolio of Margot Coffino. Okay, Margot,
Nice.
I saw your name somewhere in the chat, so if you can just make sure to say hi in the chat, Margot. We will now be looking at your work because you've actually submitted your portfolio to our, we had a form and then some people were selected to actually have their portfolio reviewed. So Margot is an art director, graphic designer, a freelancer from Paris, France, and that's her project. So is there anything on this page that you would dive into? Margot. Hello, Margot.
Hey.
Yeah, I'm here.
Maybe.
Big smile. All right.
Maybe
Okay, Margot,
Margot
if
can
you have
tell
any
us.
questions for Tina, please make sure you type them here in the chat, and we'll make sure to answer those questions.
Or if there is any preference on which project we...
So the first project we're going to be looking at, I'm going to let Tina choose from all of these that we have on the page. The one that spikes that piques your interest. That not spikes, piques your interest. And then Margot, maybe if you have a specific project that you want to have us to look at, please let us know in the chat. And again, I'm just going to paste the link very quickly in the chat.
Sure.
And go here, because this is going to look horrible because all these screens come together, but here we go. There we go.
Cool.
All right, so I just pasted the link to Margot's Behance portfolio, and appreciate your work if you feel like it. So let's have a look at this. What piqued your interest here?
Probably that it was like more papercraft and interesting.
Okay.
And I don't know, the little icon looks like really engaging and nice. And I think, yes, it is really nice and interesting. Lots of different bits going on here. It's a nice one. Okay, so maybe Margot can tell us a bit more of what this project was about. And
let's try to...
It's quite nice to
It's
have
under
a description.
editorial design, illustration, print design.
I think is it glowing in the night or something? No, it's probably the other side, right?
Yes, it looks like it's the other side, and
it gives you like the information of how to create like the origami style,
a little cube.
like your little. That's nice.
Oh, I like this approach
it's probably.
as well.
It's probably the production of them, I guess. Yeah, it looks like that, like the
there we
icon, and like how you actually make it. And it looks really engaging, like the colors and like typography and like lots of different bits going on. And I think it's like also nice infographic like here, like having like the little icons to quickly understand and like more description underneath.
So I think this is a good example also of work that looks great. It piqued our interest. We clicked on it, but we can't really figure out what it's all about,
Yeah.
right? And that can be a problem, Margot. And really, my advice to anyone here on the stream is, if you're going to put your portfolio online, please make sure that you have explanations or just a few words or something that explains what is happening. Why does this paper fold? Who is it for? What was the process? It's super important because now we're live, we're together, we have a chat, we created an original origami for cultural mediation, and we used phosphorescent ink.
Nice.
So this is at night.
So it is like...
Yes, it's like, okay,
that's
nice.
nice.
Thank you for that information, Margot. Maybe you could put it right there.
Yeah, copy paste it.
Yeah, copy paste this chat into your project. It's very, very important because it's really your opportunity to have an impact on whoever the viewer is. And if the viewer is confused, we love the work, but we don't know what it was about.
Really nice.
Okay?
The only thing that you can see, like, it's about a dance show as well, like a bit of information. But yeah, I think it will be great, like having. I'm gonna come back and check.
Okay. Yes. So Margot is promising that that she will put in the processed in the page. So we'll come back to that page, Margot. Let's see if there's another project. Margot didn't mention any specific projects, so.
You want to pick one, the second one?
Let's see.
I guess like probably the latest are like her favorite.
The latest, like on top of here?
Yeah, I guess so. Usually that's how it is, no?
Yes.
So
although I
maybe
think you can reorder them, but let's look at eye-pressing identity. Yes.
Okay.
Okay. A post bag.
That's quite interesting.
No. Repassage et blanchisserie, that's...
like ironing or something.
Yeah, it's like...
No?
Washing things,
Okay, okay.
Laundry.
Laundry,
that's the word I was looking for. It's a laundry bag. All right.
Oh, great.
All right, so we have, okay.
Okay, so it's like the...
What is the eye pressing? Okay, so this became the logo, the ironing board, the iron.
Yes.
God, my English today, it must be
and
Barcelona,
the shape looks
it's the
also
sun
like
outside.
The washing machine, like circle.
And
that's
the
quite,
washing machine, yes.
Yeah, that's quite interesting. And probably
and,
like your
this
discount,
is
like
the coupons, the discounts.
Probably it might be the other side of the other one, I guess.
Oh, it could be, yes.
Yeah. Maybe that could be like nicer in the presentation if it's really the other side to like place them both in the same image.
Yeah,
so
that's right. Yes, because it could be, but it could be something completely different, right?
Yeah, I'm just guessing.
Yeah,
like
we're guessing. We're guessing, Margot. But I love the way how, the circular aspect, you continue to use it as well here. And
and showing also the whole identity and everything, all the bits. I feel like the logo, like this logo, like you have this iron and then the line and the I letter and the P. Do you really need like the thin line? I think they are getting too many parallels. Like a tiny detail that I think you don't really need it. Like the icon is strong enough to stand like next to the letters. I think it could work really well without it as well. But yeah.
Oh, okay.
Nice.
The iconography continues.
Yeah, quite important and nice. Yeah.
Yes.
Really
Thank you, Margot. Let's see if Margot said anything else in the chat.
We didn't see anything.
So Kanzira is asking, that Margot shows a lot of projects here on the page, like about 20 projects. No, that's not 20 projects, but
15.
Well, this is not that many. You can get a good overview.
I see also illustration there. So
and then remember that with your Creative Cloud membership, there comes the Adobe Portfolio, which really allows you to create like Kike did. Kike used that.
Yeah,
to
I also use Adobe Portfolio for my own. So from
really
behind, you quickly grab the bit.
In the best way. And my friends, we're going to be, we have to finish already. Like our time is done, Tina. And thank you so much for showing us these 4 incredible projects
Thanks
that
for
you
inviting
share with
back.
us here at OFFF in
It's been
Barcelona.
exciting.
And thank you, Kike and Margot, for sharing your portfolios with us. And we will be right back here on Adobe Live, if you go here to the schedule, with Bram van Haren. Bram van Haren, who's an illustrator
Nice.
from Belgium. So stay tuned. We'll be right back in 5 minutes. Tina, thank you, and
Thanks
have
a
a good
lot.
off.
Thank
Bye-bye.
you. Bye.